Every April, the world of golf turns its eyes to Augusta National. The Masters, where the best golfers chase a green jacket, history, and in 2025, an eye-watering $21 million prize purse. The winner of that tournament, they'll pocket $4.2 million. But let's ask a different question. How much does the caddy make? Caddies are the players' closest allies. They read the greens, calculate the yardages, and select the clubs. They manage the moment. And they carry every club and every hope for 72 holes. But their role is more than physical. They're strategists, sports psychologists, and confidants. And at the Masters, their history runs deep. From 1934 to 1982, players at Augusta had minimal choice with their caddies. The club's rules at the time meant that they needed to select from Augusta's own caddies, who were all black men. At this time, black men could only be caddies on the course, and they couldn't play. But these men grew up on the course, and they knew its contours like the back of their hand. As the tournament grew, caddies became local legends. Willie Cemetery Petit, Nathaniel Ironman Avery, and Willie Peterson, who helped Jack Nicklaus win 4 green jackets. But this all changed in 1983, when players were allowed to bring their own tour caddies. But the reverence remains the same.
So a champion has been determined. We'll return with the presentation of the green jacket, symbolic of the Masters Championship, in just a moment.
The caddies at Augusta know the course so well that even now, during the practice rounds, pros still seek out Augusta's veteran caddies for insight. Today, like all those years ago, caddies at the Masters wear a distinctive white jumpsuit, with their player's name on the back and a green cap up top. It's all part of the law of the Masters. But like every major tournament, so is the money. So how do caddies actually make a living? Let's break it down. Caddy income varies enormously depending on the level of play and the success of the player that they're working with. But what if that golfer is at the top of their game? Caddies for elite players, guys in the top 10 major champions, can earn between $500,000 to $1 million USD a year. Let's take Ted Scott for example. He caddies for world number ones, like Scotty Scheffler. He reportedly earned $2.6 million to $5 million in one season. Or Steve Williams, Tiger Woods' longtime caddy, who is estimated to have earned over $12 million during their 12-year run together. Which will make sense in a minute considering Tiger has the PGA Tour record of winning $121 million. For mid-level PGA Tour caddies, the story's still good, maybe just not as glamorous. They might caddy for a player who may not win the majors, but they'll make plenty of cuts, and they'll grab a few top 10s each year. Those caddies, they'll earn usually between $100,000 to $300,000 a season. But how does the math work? Well, it typically starts with a base salary, typically between $1.5 and $3,000 per week, enough to cover hotels, meals, and travel. On top of that comes the real kicker, a percentage of winnings that increases the better their player performs. Here's the typical deal. A caddy will make 5% of prize money if the player makes the cut, 7% for a top 10 finish, and 10% for a win. If your player wins a $1 million event, you'll earn $100K for that weekend. Simple, right? Let's go a step lower.
That's how you win a golf tournament.
On the lower level tours, like the Korn Ferry Tour, which is a feeder into the PGA.
He gets a win in his 4th start and an outside shot headed to the PGA Tour.
Players who win that tournament will take a $150,000 purse home, which means that their caddy is left with just $15,000. Some weeks they might make only a few $100s, and in the next they could take home $15,000 for a casual weekend's work. For many, it's a labour of love. It's a gamble on getting called up to the big show. Most caddies have second jobs as coaches and scouts. They stay in motels, they drive the gear van, but they keep on grinding, hoping for that one breakout player. Not all caddies work on tour. At elite clubs around the world, from Pebble Beach to St Andrews, there's a robust community of club caddies.
When I started caddying, they told me 500 rounds probably to learn the greens, and that's probably right.
They earn their money per round. maybe $100 to $150 per bag, plus tips on the course. In the UK, it's around £50 to £80 for a loop. But these caddies know their course inside out, and they become trusted guides to regular members and visiting players alike. So if you're ever in a position to play with a caddy, make sure to tip them some extra coin.
Welcome back to the Masters at the beautiful Augusta National.
Back at Augusta, the tradition is unmatched. Each caddy wears their white jumpsuit and carries a number. The number 1 number always goes to the defending champion's caddy, like a race number in the Tour de France. It's symbolic. It's a badge of honor.
The year of the Tiger again at Augusta. Steve Williams. Quite a combo there.
But tradition doesn't pay the bills. So where else does the income come from? Sponsorships are becoming more and more common for caddies, especially the high-profile ones. Outside the Masters, when caddies don't wear their white jumpsuits, you might spot logos on hats, shirts, and even towels. These are often direct sponsorships that the caddy has with golf brands. On the European Tour, for example, caddies recently struck a deal to wear sponsors branding to boost their income. And that's across all the caddies who are playing in that tournament. It might only be a few extra $1,000s, but for these caddies outside the top 100, it can make a real difference. But let's talk about caddies who become icons in their own right. Steve Williams started caddying at the age of 10. He left school at 15 and then he rose to fame with Tiger Woods. He helped him win 13 majors and then later worked with Adam Scott, helping Adam win the Masters. He built a profile that led him to write 2 books, one about his time with a few different players and the other with just Tiger. Then we have Jim Bones McKay. He worked with Phil Mickelson for 25 years, helping win 5 majors and over 40 tour events. Their partnership was built on trust, friendship, and thousands of hours strategizing together. Then of course you've got Mike Fluff Cowan. He's still looping in his 70s, and he was Tiger Woods' first caddy on tour, and he now works with Jem Farooq. Mike is known iconically for measuring the wind with cigarette smoke. Then you've got Fanny Sunesson, who caddied for Nick Faldo, and she remains the most successful female caddy in the major championship history. She is the first female caddy to win a men's major golf championship. These stories are rare, but they show what's possible. Being a caddy is a massive job. It's a job built on expertise, relationships, resilience, and of course, trust. Yeah, they carry the bag. But what they also carry is the weight of decisions that can win or miss out on millions of dollars. At Augusta, the limelight may be on the players, but every caddy in white has earned their place on that sacred ground. And when the final putt drops, they're the first person that the player celebrates with.
It's also Scott's experience and methodical approach on course, aligned with Scheffler's preparations, that creates a winning formula.